Hi, it's Tim from Total Lockout with my latest video blog. I'm going to call this one the Great Padlock Swindle. I've been sitting with this idea of this story as a video blog for a while now, and it's controversial, but I've decided to record it and post it anyway. So here goes. We're a business that sets high standards of ethics in everything we do. We're the first to face up to any errors. Our position is to put problems right as quickly as possible, even if it's to our cost, and argue the toss about who's at fault later, and not to fear failure, not to fear making errors, because they're always a learning experience. So, and we had this idea that for the most part, all of our major suppliers operated by the same ethics. Now, we now know they don't. In fact, two in particular are going to be mentioned later in this video. You previously heard me talk about padlock uniqueness. This is a requirement in the key of each lock to ensure that the key from padlock A can't open padlock B, and that manifests itself in a safety isolation process whereby the wrong worker can't take off somebody else's lock. And this is fundamentally important, and it's a very high level of integrity to ensure that accidents don't happen, basically. Now, about 10-12 years ago, a very large UK Lotto padlock user approached Brady with their upcoming requirements, and this issue of uniqueness was not fully understood by the Brady rep, and to that end, based on the rest of the specification, they proposed this compact safety padlock, which you see here. Now, Total Lockout wasn't in the conversation at that point, but as an authorised Brady distributor, we were invited to supply this lock. Now, fairly early on, after the first few orders were delivered, the customer reported back to us that duplicate keys had started to arrive on site. So an investigation was carried out, and the issues were communicated back to not only Brady but the manufacturer ABUS, and they sent two of their senior technical representatives with us to visit the client at their site, wherein the customer went into some detail about how these locks were being used and their needs, both there and then at that moment in time, but also well into the future. And the upshot of it was that they were going to need many thousands of safety padlocks, and uniqueness in the key was absolutely paramount importance and fundamental. Now, after the meeting, ABUS sent us a technical document which described their interpretation of the requirements, which were right on the money. It was clear they knew exactly what was needed, and so off the back of that, they proposed their 7440 padlock. Whereas the compact, the original ones, only got 4-pin cylinder with a limit of something like 800 differs. With this 7440, they told us they could get in excess of 40,000 unique differs. Now, that was well within a reasonable requirement for the client. They'd sold this product on their, they got us on board with their trust. The customer trusted that they knew what they were doing and that we'd get this uniqueness. So, sometime later, after we've started supplying this new 7440 lock, we started to learn that differs and duplications were arriving on site again. Now, we were horrified, and another investigation was carried out. Apologies were sent, assurances were made. Each time, though, our reputation, our integrity of Total Lockout is being damaged by these incidents. Well, you'd have thought they got it right by then, but over a 10-year period, they repeatedly delivered locks with duplicate keys over and over again. So when in 2022, that's just over 2 years ago, we learned of another instance of duplication, we fed this back to ABUS again. Another investigation was carried out, and we learned that over 4,200 occurrences of duplications has occurred. That was the final straw. The customer instructed us not to deliver any more of this lock. We're left holding a large stock holding, more than 3,000 pieces. The reason for that is because of the supposed uniqueness of this lock, ABUS insisted on us buying a minimum order quantity. Add to that, the lead time on these locks for manufacturing was over 16 weeks. Add to that, customer payment terms over 90 days. All these factors putting huge pressure on our cash flow of our business. So we quarantined all the stock we'd got, we bundled it up, we returned it to Brady, because that's the journey, that's the route they were taking into the UK, ABUS to Brady to Total Lockout to customer. And after a lot of toing and froing, they turned round and said to us, we're not refunding you for these. We're stuck with an unsellable product because of its uniqueness. Each one's got a customer unique serial number engraved on the lock body. We've got this stock that we can't sell, we can't return it, ABUS won't refund us, Brady won't refund us. And their reasoning for this is because some of the stock that we were holding was not affected by duplications. Well, that's of little comfort to us, because the fact is we've got all these locks we can't sell. And so that's why I'm sharing this story, really, because all options available to us are exhausted. Other than throwing these padlocks in the skip, they're no use to anybody. We're out of pocket by many thousands of pounds. And it really grates with me because over a 10-year period, we've really upheld the name of ABUS. I've mentioned before, we deal with several different manufacturers of lockout products. And ABUS, in terms of build quality, I'm struggling to say the words now, but the build quality is one of the best. But I won't sell another ABUS product. I'm taking all their products off our website. They won't talk to us. They won't engage in conversation with us. They've left us holding the baby. And that's why I'm doing this video blog. So to wrap up, I will tell you that we have successfully got the client to introduce new locks from Master Lock. The 410, that one's been engraved. The 410 and the S31. If you're a customer, a high volume lockout padlock user, and you take the issue of padlock uniqueness seriously, to uphold integrity in your safety standards, to ensure that you don't get duplications that can potentially lead to serious accident, potentially even death, don't use ABUS padlocks. Use Master Lock padlocks. Thanks for watching.